Welcome to Vida Spiritual Connection, a weekly presentation from Vida Spiritual Learning Center, where you are empowered to create the life you desire. We believe that by valuing and empowering all, we inspire a joyous and fulfilling life. At Vida, we study and practice the teachings of the science of mind and spirit founded by Dr. Ernest Holmes. Each week, we offer an inspiring spiritual message, a guided meditation, and time together via Zoom for fellowship and prayer with a practitioner. And now, let's settle in for today's message.
Well, hello, and thanks for viewing the Vida Spiritual Connection this week. I am Reverend Keven Kadel. Our attention at Vida Spiritual Learning Center is to help you feel better, to help you live the life you desire. And toward that end, in 2022, we have been following this theme of living everyday wonder. In October, that everyday wonder is finances. And today the topic is money, so they say. Money, so they say, is the root of all evil. Well, more accurately, the love of money is the root of all evil. And metaphysicians know there is no substitute for the real thing. Money is not a cause, but an effect. It's a temporary symbol of the circulation or the connection that arises from the light and love of living spirit. And living spirit is the real thing. Now, I'll get to who they is in a moment, but I think you've heard what the herd has to say about money. Money will make me happy. Money will solve all my problems. Money will improve the circle of people that I have relationships with. Money will buy love. Any of those things, right? And these are just a few of the thoughts and beliefs in the world around you. And it's not just money, so they say. It could be people, so they say. A house, so they say. A job, so they say. A trip, so they say. A relationship, so they say. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind and Spirit calls the thinking of the world around us race thought. It's also known as the collective unconscious, which are those inherited thoughts, or what we might call ancestral mind. The collective conscious, which is the thinking of the world around us right now. It's also known as crowd thought, or herd mentality, or pack mentality, or mob mentality, or hive mind. And in moments when your mind is engaged in the thinking of the world around you, rationality is displaced by emotionality. And you may relinquish some of your personal power, and you're also a little more likely to comply with the group. And sometimes the thinking of the world does not have your best interest at heart or in mind. Now, in New Thought, all that is part of the great mind of God. You are part of the great mind of God. And at your best, your local mind thinks with and thinks as the mind of God. And at other times, your thoughts can be dominated by, for example, the thinking of the world around you. And sometimes the thinking of the world around you is a good thing. Human civilization advances by its ability to pull knowledge, to gather data and resources for what is thought to or believed to be a greater good. And sometimes the thinking of the world around you is fantastic, it's transcendent. For me, there have been moments at concerts or in spiritual community that have changed my life for the better. In these moments, the thinking of the world around me felt unified for the highest and greatest for all gathered. In beloved spiritual communities like Vida Spiritual Learning Center, we join in spiritual practices, we support each other's spiritual growth through a shared vision, mission, and purpose. And by joining together with this high intention, both you and the community access dimensions of spirituality that are only possible by joining together. Now, I know occasionally, accidentally, you might tune into communal thoughts or beliefs that are not in your best interest, that the race thought may not be the easiest or best or most direct path for your healing and evolving consciousness. I know I've picked up ideas about career or relationships or health or finances or money or spirituality or even God that don't serve me. And realizing I had acquired some stinking thinking is a bad news, good news thing. The bad news, I acquired a lot of stinking thinking. But the good news is it was and is all healable. Vida Spiritual Learning Center and the Science of Mind and Spirit give you the tools and techniques that heal and grow your consciousness. This is to change your thinking for the better, to keep it changing for the better, and change your life for the better. Like everything is on a continuum, including that which comes up, those thoughts and beliefs that come up for healing. Some of those heal easily, and some of those have a lot deeper roots. And I know that my not so constructive thoughts and beliefs around money are ones that have taken and are taking a little more effort and time to heal. That doesn't mean that I don't, or to put it more affirmatively, I consistently, daily, weekly, monthly, engage in spiritual practices, for these are crucial for my ongoing healing of deep-rooted beliefs, and often the case of those deep-rooted beliefs, they no longer serve me. So as you integrate spiritual practice into your daily life, and the way this works is that you use a short form of the spiritual practice many times throughout the day. And as you do this, you have much more dominion over your thoughts. And as you do this, your choices are more conscious, including your choice to tune out or tune in to the thinking of the world around you. Now, what do I mean by a short form spiritual practice? Well, this might mean that there's some aspect of meditation or prayer or journaling or reading or visioning. And you do this in an abbreviated form that immediately moves and reminds and restores your consciousness to that positive, to that constructive, that affirmative. It might mean that, I spend 15 minutes each morning in meditation, but throughout the day, I take a minute or two to become quiet and still. And since I've done the meditation in the morning, the minute or two is all it takes to restore my calmness, my clarity, my connection to spirit. Another example might be that in the morning, I recite a full 5-step spiritual mind treatment, and then several times throughout the day, I just recite the affirmation, the realization step of that prayer. In my last message, I recommended Julia Cameron's journaling practice called Morning Pages. And for more information, please read Cameron's book called The Artist's Way. But one of the spiritual practices that has helped me with deep-rooted false beliefs is called the Little Buddha exercise. And this is a variation on journaling again as a spiritual practice. In this exercise, you play 2 characters. One character is a loving, compassionate presence that I choose to symbolize with a little Buddha. Feel free to choose any symbol of great compassion, wisdom, and insight. The other character is you at your most honest and vulnerable. Now, to prepare for the little Buddha exercise, take 5 or 10 minutes to clear your mind, just to become quiet and still and calm. And the exercise begins with you playing the little Buddha character. And little Buddha is going to write a question on a page. Then, as your truest self, you write an answer below that question on the page. For example, the little Buddha might begin by writing the question, how can I help you today? And your answer might be, I'm having some challenges with money in my life. And then you switch back to the little Buddha character, and little Buddha reads the answer you just wrote, and based on that answer, asks you another question, right? And by the way, sometimes the little Buddha repeats the question, right? Remember too, the little Buddha is wise and insightful and compassionate. So when I answer, I am having challenges with money in my life, the little Buddha says, I'm sorry to hear about this. What kind of challenges are you having? And then you, as your truest self, respond, well, I never seem to have enough money to live the life I desire. Then you switch back to the little Buddha. Well, where did this come from? When did you pick up this belief of lack around money? And then you answer your truest self, well, I can remember a moment when I was 7 years old and my parents were arguing over not having enough money. And your true self and the little Buddha continue this question and answer process until you both feel complete and whole. Now, having used this spiritual practice over the years, I'm always astonished with the length and breadth and depth of divine mind I access through playing two characters, one being divine mind local to me, and the other is the aspect of my local mind getting more in the flow of the divine mind. So this practice really helps you to compassionately question yourself, and therefore you can dig a little deeper. It helps bring those beliefs to conscious awareness, and it also helps you learn the who, what, when, where, and how you picked up maybe some error thinking. And once you know the who, what, when, where, and how, it helps you appreciate a little about why you picked it up in the first place. For me, the false belief sometimes began as a coping mechanism. It served a useful purpose at the time, but as I healed and grew, what was once helpful is now not so helpful. So once you get that conscious awareness, you can evaluate what it is is coming up in your consciousness. You can release what's no longer helpful. You can reinforce what is helpful. And you can replace the unhelpful thought or belief with an affirmative, constructive opposite. Now, there are a lot of other reasons that I love this little Buddha exercise, and I encourage you to try it and see if you feel the same way. So be mindful about what they say. This earthly phase of your spiritual journey includes and is blessed with the thinking of the world around you. You have dominion over your thoughts, and you are part of the great mind of God. Choose wisely, compassionately, and lovingly. So let's turn our attention together in prayer right here and right now. So it is with the utmost compassion, the love, the joy, the peace, that I identify and know that presence of God, of living spirit right here and right now. I know that living spirit is my mind, and it is the great mind of God, all working as one mind, all working toward one good. And I know this one mind, this one love is everywhere and within. Every person, place, and thing is an extension and an emanation of the one mind of living spirit. So knowing that is true, I know that I am one of and with living spirit. And as I live spirit, spirit lives me. And what is true for me is true for all beings everywhere. So I know that spirit lives you as you live spirit. That we are all an extension, an emanation, a meditation in the mind of God, and therefore all the good that comes through and to our lives is that God expression, that God experience, that God circulation. So I speak my word that we lovingly care for our minds, that we set a clear intention, that we attune to thoughts and beliefs that are for our personal and collective highest good. We bless thoughts and beliefs that may have served us well and release those that no longer serve. I know and feel that you and I are imbued and surrounded by a most compassionate and loving presence that delights in our healing, our growth, and our living the life we desire. So blessing the world as I am blessed, I give thanks for this answered prayer, for this communion in spirit, this connection in the divine mind. And I release my word into the law of mind in action, knowing your mind, my mind, our minds are open. They are flowing with the light and love of living spirit right here and right now. And now it is, and so it is. Amen. Well, thank you so much for tuning in this week. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you here next time. Farewell.
If today's message inspires you, please consider supporting Vida Spiritual Learning Center. Know that your donations support our show, our learning center, and the Science of Mind philosophy. Thank you for your contributions. Now please enjoy some time in meditation with our practitioner of the week.
So let's continue and let's look into this place where we can rest in the joy of being with Spirit. We can move into some stillness that lasts a little bit longer than we usually do, to become accustomed to the quiet, to the stillness, to that small place where everything is clear, everything is safe, everything is exactly as it needs to be. We just have to give it our presence, our full presence, and we need to move into that time and be ready and willing to receive all the gifts that the stillness has to offer us. And it's a time to commune. It's a time to settle in. And you don't mind the time. You don't have to worry about that. Just let me guide you every 45 seconds or so into a new piece of understanding what it's like to breathe in and breathe out all that you need and all that is you. And to breathe in the softness and the clarity of what a meditation can be like. And it can be soft gaze, it can be open eyes, it can be closed eyes, it can be however you feel comfortable and safe in allowing Spirit to be with you in a different way, in a new way for a few moments. So let me guide you in and I will welcome you out. So breathing in slowly, however you choose to find that stillness. I want you to know this. The breath of God is breathing you. You're breathing in the breath of God. You know that all is well in the stillness. That breath of God is breathing you. You're breathing in the breath of God. You know that all is well in the stillness. Allow your breathing to guide you to a deeper place. The love of God is breathing you. You're breathing in the love of God. You know that all is well in this stillness. Softly and gently breathing in the love. And the joy of God is breathing you. You're breathing in the joy of God. And you know that all is well in this stillness, this wonderful stillness, this incredible connection. And what a gift it is to know that by simply breathing in and breathing out, the breath of God, the love of God, the joy of God brings peace to every part of you and lets you know completely that all is well. Then now, ever so gently, let's begin to collect the blessings that were revealed during this time. Slowly return yourself to your surroundings and your renewed self. Right here in the present moment. All the time you spent in this stillness is filled with wonder, filled with grace, and filled with power. So as you open your eyes and you focus on where you are right now in this present moment, just relish that. Relish everything about the rest that you received within the stillness with Spirit. The joy, the love, the care. It's all there at any moment that you choose to return into that space that you know so well that belongs to you as you commune with Spirit. And so take that into the rest of this service time today. And please join my heart in this prayer for you. You are refreshed, trusting that you are unified with your source, knowing to your depth that the divine is the creator of all, always in all ways. I am, you are, we are. We are eternally connected with all that God has ever expressed. And all of it is good and perfect. We are whole. It's all God. Each unique expression of God is good and part of the essence of the life that God is. So I, you, we're the divine community, and we now lean into a message for ourselves today, thankful for the love that pours forth from each of us, making a divine commitment to be inspired, ever desiring to offer ourselves to the world in service and create more peace and more joy and more love. Surrendering these words, I speak into the law and the love that is God. I know it's complete. I feel it complete, joyful, peaceful, loving, and so very, very good. And so it is. And now it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Vida Spiritual Connection. Did you know that giving is a spiritual practice? As you bless the world, you are blessed. Know that your donations support our show, our center, and the Science of Mind philosophy. Thank you very much. We also give thanks to our spiritual director, our spiritual education team, and our leadership council for producing the Vida Spiritual Connection. We invite you to visit our website for more information and to submit a confidential prayer request. While you're there, sign up for our mailing list and receive the latest information for events, classes, and meetups. Remember to subscribe to Vida's YouTube channel, like and click the bell to get notifications. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We gather for fellowship and prayer with a practitioner via Zoom Thursdays at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific. Please join us. We thank you, our love-minded community. Have a wonderful week and see you next time for the Vida Spiritual Connection.